This episode of Shield Hero features the coolest cockfight I've ever seen. Raise your shields for excitement, my friends. It's time to take a look at another episode of the Rising of the Shield Hero. And it looks like Naofumi has a brand new enemy in the form of Fitoria the Filolial Queen. And in this episode, we get to see a pretty epic battle between Fitoria and Philo. Before I go any further, I'm going to go ahead and put up a spoiler warning. If you haven't seen how this episode concluded, make sure to go check that out now. I'm also going to go ahead and say that this is going to be a super short review, way shorter than I usually do. I just want to give my quick thoughts on this episode. I'm running very short on time, but I didn't want to wait a week to actually get this review out, so let's just go ahead and jump into it. This episode was kind of interesting. At the end of the last episode, Fitoria made it clear that she wants to kill all four of the heroes in order to bring in a couple of new ones that will manage to work together and save the world from the waves of destruction. But she also has another motive here. She's trying to prep the next queen of the Filolials. And of course that's going to be Philo, if it wasn't obvious enough. And in order to pull this off, she decides to have a one-on-one fight with her, which manages to be critically exciting and also again establishes that Fitoria, despite being a big poofy chicken that can transform into a cute anime girl, is incredibly freaking powerful. This isn't the end-all, be-all best action scene that I've actually seen from the series, but it managed to be pretty entertaining in an interesting way. For the one, that Philo actually fights in her human form the entire time, something that we rarely, if ever, see. And obviously this is all just Fitoria trying to find out how strong she truly is. And ultimately it comes down to basically allowing her to win on a technicality. It's not just physical strength that she's looking for, but the connections that she actually has with her comrades. The reason she fights is not for her very own selfish reasons, but simply for her master, to protect him, to protect her friends, and ultimately the world itself. And when Fitoria realizes this, she allows Philo to be the next successor to be the queen of the Filolials, and thus a big celebration ensues. This is when Fitoria manages to show a little bit more of her tender side a little bit. She came across as very cold and callous in the last episode, and while she still has plans of potentially killing the heroes, she's going to pump the brakes on that just a little bit to see how Naofumi and his team can actually work together by themselves to take down the waves of destruction. If they impress her enough, maybe she'll decide to keep them alive. But again, they also managed to delve into her backstory a little bit by the fact that maybe her original owner was indeed one of the original S.H.I.E.L.D. heroes, hence why she has such a strong connection to Naofumi. Even at the very end of the episode, she manages to embrace him a little bit by lying down on his lap, and it's a really nice and tender moment for her character, which displays a surprising amount of humanity for a chicken girl. So, what's the rundown on this episode of The Rising of the Shield Hero? A pretty good episode which featured a very exciting battle and is painting a really big future for Philo to be the next big queen of the series. The fact that she already has the ability to transform into a human form and has angel wings made it pretty clear that there was something very special about her, and the fact that they even hinted at earlier on that she could be a Queen Filolial. And it all comes to fruition in this episode in a pretty exciting battle, which isn't exactly going to blow the lid off of anyone, but it's still managed to be exciting in its very own way. And for me personally, it's hard to not like the character of Fitoria, as she's so freaking adorable in every single way, but she can manage to be really cool and badass at the same time, which is everything I like about characters like her. And there's also a little bit of teasing at the end of the episode with Ren and Itsuki still going on their journey to learn the truth about the Church of the Three Heroes, which ultimately ends up getting them in trouble as they end up going to this underground cavern where all of the original weapons of the heroes were, and they end up finding this empty cavern which suddenly just explodes out of nowhere. I'm guessing this is all some sort of plan that's been concocted by Mind to try and kill these two characters to get them further away from the truth, establishing yet again that basically she really is the true villain of the series. That's just speculation on my part, but otherwise I thought this was a pretty solid episode, which is why I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. You heard my thoughts on the episode. I want to hear yours. What did you think about this episode of The Rising of the Shield Hero, the battle between Fitoria and Philo? Did you have any favorite moments, any predictions for what's going to happen at the end of the series? What's going on with Ren and Itsuki? Let's get a discussion going about this episode. I'll see you all next time, and as always, stay damn down, baby.